Hello and welcome. So continuing from previous lecture, let me just pull up my Ubuntu box and I need to give in the password. And let's check what is our locale. So the command is locale. I press enter and we see that at the moment this is the first language, then the territory, and then the code set that I talked about. And we see that for numeric or for time or even for paper, if we set the paper type to, let's say, Great Britain, then in Europe, most of the Europe uses A4 type papers where the dimensions of the usable area where we can write in are a bit changed as compared to the US standard. Similarly, in case of time, generally in Americas it is followed like month, then day, and then year. But in other parts of the world, it is also written as day, month, and year. So we can change these settings over here. Similarly, there are other characteristics that we can change as far as address or maybe telephone or maybe some other measurements or identification parameters are concerned. We can change all these settings using these locale variables. Now to see what locales are supported or available on our system, I can type in the command which is locale and then the switch is -a, and over here I can see that we have got all these locales available with us. Now at the top of the list we see this locale value which is C. This means this is not some like language or C. What this means is that if I bring it over here, let's say the language at the moment it's English and US territory, but if I set it to C, then what would this do is that when programs look at this locale variable, then they would ignore or they would process the information in the file without passing it through locale translations. And this is beneficial in cases where if we kind of change the locale to a certain value, then that might change the information or the values in that file. Maybe by changing it to a certain locale value, it might corrupt some of the characters that are present in the script. So what we want is that once our program is trying to execute a file or is reading a file, it should ignore those characters and should not consider or try to change it to some other locale. So we would put the lang value as C so that the program should ignore it and just take the value as it is instead of changing it to some other value. Now to change a locale, it's pretty simple. We simply need to export it. If we want to do it in this terminal, if we want to make these changes permanent, we would write the changes in either in our etc profile file, or if we are to do it for locally, we can put it in our home.bash rc file. So let's try to do it. Let's try to change. Let's just have a look at the locale one more time. And now let's try to change the language value to a different one. Let's say to Great Britain. So lang is equal to English, but this time the territory is Great Britain. And let's also say that the code set is UTF-8. Now once we do that and I do a locale one more time, we see that indeed the locale for language has been changed to Great Britain. Now just like the concept that I told you about regarding this locale value which is C, we had just seen it, there is another command which is iconvert, and the idea behind this command is the same, that if we have got a script and the script is in, let's say, a certain code set values or certain character format that it is supporting, and we want to change that format to something else, something different, because some of the characters using that format are not being displayed correctly. So we can do that by using the iconvert command, and the syntax of that command is iconvert then from space then from or the source file. So let's say the source file is whatever the source file you want to give in, and then after that, my mistake, pardon me, this is the from, which is where you need to type in the encoding standard for that particular character. So it could be ASCII or other UTF that we have just seen. So let's just type in ASCII, and to see the supported encoding standards, we can type in the list. So I convert and list, or I should remove the N. So these are the standards available that are supported. If I bring it up over here, so we can use all these to change character encodings of our files. So let's just try to change from maybe ASCII to something else, or maybe UTF to something else. So let's try to change it. Let's put in I convert, and then UTF-8, and maybe change it to UTF-7 or US, and then the name of the file, which could be like etc, and let's say any script in there in SSH, and let's see if we have got any script. So let's say SSH config. Now once I press enter, this file will be changed from, if it is in UTF-8 character encoded format, to US format, and the display would be shown onto the standard output. So the content of the file will not be changed, but if we want to change them, we can redirect it to another file name. So if I press enter over here, we see the output, and essentially we might not feel any difference in it, because this US encoding standard and UTF-8 encoding standard for this particular file, we do not have any specific characters that would be corrected. But if we had a file which would have needed a certain encoding, then definitely we can use this command, which is iConvert, to convert character sets of one file into another character set format.